Artists, today we are going to finish our clay cats, and we are going to use an oil pastel and ink resist to do this. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use oil pastels to color in our cat, but I don't want you to use any black oil pastel, and you will see why in the video, but we are going to be dipping these into a black ink before we finish, and every part of our clay project that does not have oil pastel on it will turn black. So you can choose realistic colors or you can choose bright, bold colors, and you're going to use those oil pastels right directly onto your clay. So if I wanted a blue cat, I'm basically just going to add that oil pastel right on top of the clay, and you will see that it doesn't touch every single part because of the texture that we added. The rough edges don't see a lot of the oil pastel sticking, and we can do the edges of our clay. We do not have to worry about the back because we don't see the back, but I want you to take some time and push that oil pastel into all of your clay cat. And I want you to think about which areas you do not want to be black. So even though the clay is white right now, you are not going to see any white clay unless you color it in white when we're done. So if I wanted to make sure that my cat's eyes stay white, I'm going to want to use white oil pastel. And I can see that the blue doesn't get in there very easily, but that's okay because the black will stick there. So if I wanted my cat's eyes to have some white on the edges, I'm going to want to make sure that I add some white oil pastel to that. And I know that it might not stick in every little crack, but that's okay. I'm going to pause the video while I add the rest of my color. The next step of this process is very messy. So you're going to be carefully carrying this over to a station where I have some watered down ink. And these are very fragile. They are like glass now. So if this drops, it might break. So you want to be very careful to hold it with two hands. And because it's messy, I'm going to be using a glove. And I'm going to be dipping those clay cats right into some black watered down ink. And you will notice that when we pull it out, all of the spots that we did not touch with oil pastel are going to be black. And we have just finished adding color to our clay cats. Now these have to stay with me to dry, and then I will be putting a clear protective coat on them before you are able to take them home.